Hello everyone, welcome to your February 2026 monthly forecast, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So, I haven't done these for a while. I'm hoping that you guys, share this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new. I need to get my videos more in circulation. There, I just wasn't getting enough views, so it really wasn't worth me doing them. I will always still do the shorts, but we'll see how the monthlies go. Okay, but anyway, so the month actually starts off with a full moon in Leo. Okay, on the 1st. Then on the 3rd, Uranus turns direct. It's still in Taurus. Turns direct. It's finishing its transit in Taurus and moving into Gemini in April. I believe it's April 27th. Anyway, on the 6th, Mercury moves into Pisces. Up until that point, it is still in Aquarius. On the 10th, Venus moves into Pisces, and again, up until that point, it's still in Aquarius. On the 13th, Saturn leaves uh, Pisces for what is it, 28 years maybe? I forget the cycle. It spends about 2.5 to 3 years in each zodiac sign, so it takes a while to go completely around the zodiac. So it is leaving Pisces and moving into Aries on the 13th, okay? Then on the 17th, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. On the 18th, the sun moves into Pisces, and then on the 26th, Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces, okay? And there is a link in the description box below. I just left it in there, okay, to a video that I did on Mercury retrograde. Okay, so it's a good idea to check that out. Also, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you can do. I would greatly appreciate it, okay? And thank you so much for your donations, your inquiries, all of that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now for your forecast. Hi, Leo. So, you know what? We'll start with the full moon and the new moon, because the full moon is on the 1st and it's in your sign. Okay, in your first house, we each get our own full moon and new moon, one a year, right? So this is yours. And the full moon exists, okay, for you to get rid of something, get something off your chest. It will bring a issue or a problem or whatever to the surface where you can deal with it and then do away with it. So this could actually be something that maybe regarding like you and your friends, you and your family, but it's you. It's occurring in your first house. It's in your sign. If you don't have Leo rising, wherever you have Leo in your chart is where you are going to speak up about something and change it. It's not going the way you want it to. Maybe it never was, but that's what the full moon is for. Okay, because by the time the new moon comes along, now there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th, okay, which is in your 7th house. That's where you have the sign of Aquarius. It's directly across from your first house of Leo, and Aquarius is your opposite sign. Okay, so your 7th house is your close relationships and partnerships. Okay, it's either a business relationship or a romantic or a friendship. It's also the house of arrangements and agreements and contracts, open enemies, and competition. Okay, so Mars is here right now. And when Mars is in the 7th house, it brings aggression out in the people that you know. Okay, now Mars has been here since last month, actually. So you may have started to notice this, that, people are being very pushy with you within your close relationships. In business There could be someone who either you do business with or they are a business partner. But they could just, if they're a business partner, they're just running the business the way they want it to be run. They're not even consulting you or whatever. It's almost like they took over the whole thing. Okay, same thing if you just do business with someone, they're not listening to you possibly. You know, you could tell them, even if you're ordering some item of clothing that you want specifically made for you yourself, they're just like, yeah, yeah, well, I'll do this or that. They're like winging it, kind of putting in their own, more of their own input than yours. Okay, so that's another thing where you really have to set them straight, okay? As far as romance goes, you could have somebody really trying to pressure you into some kind of commitment possibly, or trying to change something about you, wanting you to do this or that differently. You could also have a friend that's a little bit pushy right now, may want you to do something with them, go somewhere with them. They don't want to go solo, whatever, you know. You really, you know, you don't feel like doing it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. What the hell? But it's also the house of open enemies, which means it's someone you don't like. They don't like you. Everybody knows it. Both you and that other person. It's what's a big deal, you know. But a lot of times, this is when they really start to act up. Okay, and as far as competition goes, that could be your open enemy. Somebody just trying to push your buttons to try to get you to act up, especially in front of other people. You know. So that's what this full moon could be about. Is like by the time, you know, February 1st is here, you're like, you've already had it. But it's, you know, you're supposed to speak up. That's what the full moon is for. Now the new moon with the solar eclipse is super energized because of the eclipse. Okay. It will bring a new beginning within one of your close relationships or any kind of an arrangement. That's also arrangement or agreement or a contract that somebody may be trying to get you to sign, which you don't have to do. You know, you're on your own time schedule, okay? So if someone's trying to pressure you into signing on the dotted line, there's something wrong, okay? But anyways, an eclipse sometimes eclipses people out of your life, either a person or a thing, a situation, something that shouldn't be there. Okay, it's clearing the air. The new moon comes in and begins fresh in this area. So don't be surprised if someone does leave your orbit, you know. But it's better for you, and it's probably what you wanted anyway. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And the effects of an eclipse last a little longer than normal. No one knows exactly how long. Some people say weeks, months, whatever. Okay, it varies according to you, actually. But just keep that in mind. You speak your mind on the 1st, and then by the time the 17th rolls around, and with that new moon solar eclipse, hopefully they'll get the picture, okay, and stop whatever it is they're doing that's no annoying you, or just leave, whatever. Anyway, so the sun, again, back to the 7th house with all of these planets in Aquarius, okay, and Pluto is here, okay. Pluto's going to be here for 20 years, so you're going to always have somebody kind of, it could even be a government agency that's a real pain in the ass, you know, just always trying to yank your chain, trying to keep you under their thumb, okay. And that's what actually could be beginning now with Mars here in Aquarius, okay, and all these other planets. Okay, so just keep an eye out for stuff like that and stop it now. Don't let it like continue, obviously, or get any worse. The sun does move into Pisces on the 18th. Mercury moves into Pisces on the 6th. Then Venus in Pisces on the 10th. And then again, the sun on the 18th, but Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces on the 26th. Okay, this is all happening in your 8th house of other people's money and resources. It's also the house of passive money coming to you through means other than earning it, such as a legal settlement, an insurance payout, a refund of some kind. It's tax time in America, so it could be a tax refund or extra credit from a credit card company, increased line of credit, or same thing with a bank loan, something or other. But this is also shared property and shared debt, okay? So it could actually be something like that going on, where Saturn, that's the big news here, is Saturn is leaving Pisces. On the 13th, it's moving into Aries, into your 9th house. So it's been in your 8th house for the past so many years, and Neptune left last month. Neptune was in Pisces for years, okay, has moved in also into Aries. So you won't have these problems anymore with maybe you had identity theft, or people using your credit cards, or your bank statements weren't correct, or your credit card statements weren't correct, or it was really hard for you. If you did have money that was willed to you, possibly some kind of inheritance, you might have had a fight for it. Or maybe someone borrowed something from you. Could be money, but it could be possessions, though. They could have borrowed something of yours and never gave it back, no matter how many times you ask for it. They tried to gaslight you into thinking they already gave it back to you and you lost it, or something goofy like that, okay? All that crap is gone now. You don't have to really deal with anything like that. And planets have moved into your 9th house, Saturn and Neptune. Not a bad place for these two planets to be in the 9th house. In a money house, they're not a lot of fun. Okay? So, I do have to mention the planet Uranus in Taurus. Okay, turns direct on the 3rd. It's been in your 10th house for the past so many years. Your 10th house is your most public house, is basically your house of your career and your social standing, stuff like that, okay? But anyways, while this planet has been here, there's been all kinds of weird happenings in your public life, whether you wanted them to happen or not, okay? People may have made up really ridiculous, gossipy stories about you, even on social media, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be very public, but it could be on some public platform like social media. Okay, you probably have like some ups and downs within your career, totally out of the blue, totally blindsided, whatever. It's good and bad, both good and bad things happening, okay? Well, anyways, it turns direct on the 3rd and finishes its transit through Taurus and then moves into Gemini, into your 11th house, okay? So you won't have to deal with any kind of let's say, possibly embarrassing things happening to you in public places or in the public eye or whatever. You know, that it's a different kind of transit. You know what I mean? So anyways, the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Leo on the 1st, 2nd, and 28th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Aquarius, and those dates are the 15th, 16th, and 17th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling, or speculation, and anything to do with children is the 10th, 11th, 13th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 24th, and 25th. The best time for money is the 3rd, 4th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. The best time for your career is the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And the best time for communication and travel is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. So happy Valentine's Day to you. See ya.